Welcome to the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name is Boogie Bentley. Tennessee got a pretty big game coming up on Saturday. The #1 Georgia Bulldogs come to town. The winning streak is on the line. How does this team respond? How do they bounce back after getting absolutely embarrassed by Missouri a week ago? What's left to play for? New Year's Six Bowl off the table. Trip to Atlanta off the table. Does this team have enough in them? Do they have enough fight in them to go out there and play for pride on Saturday against the Georgia Bulldogs? We shall see. We're going to continue to break that game down as the week goes on. But right now I want to kind of talk about this, and that is Texas A&M fires head coach Jimbo Fisher. 6-year coach owed more than $75 million in record college football buyout. $75 million. Texas A&M is willing to flush down the toilet and move on from Jimbo Fisher after years and years of mediocrity. But that shows me that Texas A&M has got some cash. We talk about Texas money. We talk about oil money, how that impacts NIL. How was Jimbo Fisher able to build these elite recruiting classes? Well, I think money talks, and you're seeing it when Texas A&M is willing to just flush $75 million. But when you do this, when you make a move like this, when your head coach is fired, that opens up a window of opportunity. Guys that are committed in the class of 24, guys that are already playing for this team that are going to be looking to the transfer portal. Some of those Texas A&M players already in the portal. Others have teased being in the portal. What does that mean for Tennessee? We're going to get into it, but as always, do me a favor, smash the thumbs up right down there just below this video. It is quick, free, and easy. It does help this channel, and I would greatly appreciate it. Also, if you're new to the Talkin VAWLS Network, welcome. We're not experts. We're not insiders. We're not media. We don't talk at you here. We talk with you. This is a community of Tennessee fans for the fans, by the fans. If you enjoy the content, make sure you subscribe. Click that bell for notifications. You're not going to miss out when we go live or when we drop a video. We'll be live tonight, 6:30 p.m. Eastern time, playing NCAA football, but also talking all things Tennessee football. Come hang out for that. Always a good time on Tuesday nights. We'll be live tomorrow night, Wednesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern time, breaking down this Tennessee versus Georgia game. But let's get into it. Let's talk about a couple of names. I saw Matt Ray over at VolQuest put out a good article and kind of mentioned a couple of names in this class of 24 that Tennessee had offered. Now, was there any real traction there? I don't know. 4-star defensive lineman Gabriel Relaford, they offered back in September, but there was really no movement there. What does he look like? Does he kind of open things back up? And then also a 5-star athlete, Terry Busey, Tennessee offered back in March. There was some interest there. Actually took a visit before the spring game. Good visit. Enjoyed his time on Rocky Top, and then he ended up at Texas A&M. But does he open that recruitment? Is he a guy that looks to move on? Now you talk about guys that are currently on this Texas A&M football team. Look, it's a different day and age. College football is so different right now. You're having to recruit your players year in and year out, and that's without coach movement. Now you're bringing in a new coach. You're going to have to recruit all these guys. We saw it when Jeremy Pruitt was fired, and yeah, there was some other reasons that led to that, but Jeremy Pruitt fired, everybody enters the portal. It's a max exodus. Josh Heupel has to rebuild this football team, and a couple of guys, Raymond Cottrell, 4-star wide receiver coming out of high school. He's a freshman, hasn't got a whole lot of play. Played in one game this year, has one reception for 13 yards. But he's a guy that's already indicated. He's already heading to the portal. He is leaving Texas A&M. Does Tennessee have any real shot here to land this wide receiver? And I made a video yesterday talking about the guys on this football team that have an extra COVID year. Who is willing to use that? A lot of good information. Put together a full list that Brent Hubbs had put out, and we kind of go by position group, one by one. But one of those guys was wide receiver Brew McCoy. Obviously goes down with the injury. He's a guy that I think has a future at the next level. Is the NFL willing to take a chance on him after the injury? How does he bounce back? How does he respond? What does his draft stock look like? Is Brew McCoy a guy that wants to come back and play another year of football? If not, next year, you're going to have Dante Thornton on the outside. You're going to have Squirrel White in the slot. But then you're going to have that empty spot out there. Who fills that void? Chaz Nimrod, Caleb Webb. You got some young wide receivers on this team. You got some stud freshmen coming in. 5-star Mike Matthews. Elite 4-star Braylon Staley. Love what I see from that kid on his high school film. But does Josh Heupel look to add another wide receiver via the transfer portal? Raymond Cottrell is a deep ball threat. They can throw the ball down the field to him. He was offered during his original recruiting cycle. He camped with Tennessee back in June of 2021. Is he a guy that's looking to come to Tennessee? Is there any interest? Does Josh Heupel want to add a wide receiver? But that's a name that's already in the portal. Now, there is a name at Texas A&M that we are all familiar with. We all know too well. He's teased jumping in the portal before. If I could ask you one player, One player on this Texas A&M football team that has interest in Tennessee that could possibly enter the portal, who would that be? Well, I saw this video clip. This is from the College Football Recruiting Show from 247 Sports. They were asked, what is the number one player? If you're the new head coach at Texas A&M, they bring you in. Who's the first player? Who's the stud? Who's the star that you're going to go recruit and try to keep on your football team? Let's take a listen to this.
Guys, who's the one player that Texas A&M absolutely has to keep?
Walter Nolan. He is a big-time defensive lineman that's effective in the run game and the passing game. This is a 5-star. So whoever's coming in, they need to sit back and like, hey, listen, we have a guy right here that we can build around, that can impact this game at a high level. Walter Nolan will be my guy moving forward.
Impact player. A guy that can impact the game in the run game, in the pass game. They're saying that's the number one player. They're the head coach. You can build a program around Walter Nolan. Now, those of you that don't really follow recruiting, those of you that don't know who Walter Nolan is, Walter Nolan was the number one player a couple of years ago. Tennessee very heavily involved in his recruitment. Ultimately chooses Texas A&M. Again, we talk about Texas money. We talk about oil money. A lot of speculation that there were some NIL things to factor in here. When Walter Nolan chose to go to Texas A&M, a lot of us say, well, he doesn't want to play for Rodney Garner. He's not dedicated. He's not committed. Let's take a look at what Walter Nolan has done at Texas A&M. First, we can roll down here to high school. Again, 5-star prospect, number one player in the country in the class of 2023. Now, again, it's all speculation. It's all rumor. Walter Nolan has not indicated that he's going to enter the portal, but if he does, and Tennessee was able to rebuild that relationship, you add Walter Nolan, your roster would consist of the number one player in the country from 2023 in Walter Nolan, the number one player in the country in the class of 2024 with Nico Iamaleava. Again, 5-star prospect, 2022 Under Armour All-American, had 93 tackles, 33 tackles for loss, 27 quarterback hurries, 17 sacks, 6 forced fumbles, 3 pass breakups, 2 fumble recoveries as a high school senior. You say, well, I don't care about high school. What about college? How did it transition to the college level? Last year as a freshman, he played in 10 games, made 4 starts. You go look at his stats for that freshman year, had 29 total tackles, had a sack, a forced fumble, fumble recovery. What has he done this year as a sophomore? Played in all 9 games, started 6 of those. Helped lead the way with 7 tackles, including 1 for loss in a season-opening win over New Mexico. Finished the Miami game with 2 tackles and a breakup. Finished the win over Auburn with 4 tackles, 2 TFLs, 1.5 sacks. On the year so far, 32 total tackles, 4 sacks. Has a pass defended. He's a guy that, again, you heard it. You heard it there from the College Football Recruiting Show. He's a guy that can impact the ground game, also impact the passing game. And again, to throw back to the video from yesterday, which I encourage you, if you missed it, go watch it, breaking down the COVID years, what this team could look like in 2024. I think you're going to have to hit the portal on the interior of the defensive line. I think we got guys all over the edge position. Guys like James Pierce, guys like Joshua Josephs, Tyree West, Dominic Bailey. You got guys that are going to be back next year that can make some plays. But when you look on the interior, does Omar Norman Lott, does he elect to come back? He's a redshirt junior. He could be back next year. Omari Thomas, Big Elijah Simmons, Bryson Eason. They're all 3 guys that could go on either to the next level of football, they could go off to the NFL, or they could use a COVID year and elect to come back. What does that look like? But if Walter Nolan enters the transfer portal, because, we talk about how do you spend your NIL money, and we go back to recruiting, and at times we're like, man, just drop the bag on them, spend the money, drop the bag. You always don't know how high school players are going to develop. But when you've seen the number one player in the country come to Texas A&M and play well as a freshman, play well as a sophomore, you've seen it. You've seen what he can do in the SEC against elite-level talent. If Walter Nolan enters the portal, are you throwing the bag at him? Are you dropping the NIL money on him? I think he's a guy that would make this football team dominant on the defensive line of scrimmage. What do you guys think? Jump into the comment section and let me know. We'll continue to track any transfer portal rumors as coaching turnover starts to happen as we get late into the season. We'll continue to cover recruiting. We'll continue to break down this Tennessee-Georgia game coming up on Saturday. But as always, do me a favor on the way out the door, guys. Smash that thumbs up just below the video. It is quick, free, and easy. Also, go check out the merchandise. You want to rep some Talkin Vols merch, go to bonfire.com/store/Talkin Vols. That link is in the description below. Also, a shout out to the members of the channel. You guys are what give me the opportunity to jump on here and do this every single day. I am grateful for you. If you want to be a part of it, you like the videos, the live streams, the community aspect, whatever it is you like about this channel, you want to keep us rolling, you want to support what we do, hit the join button. You can give $1. That's it, just $1. $1 a month, you get custom Talkin Vols emojis, access to the fan call-in shows, all kinds of fun perks and benefits. But more importantly, you are funding this channel. You are keeping this channel rolling, and we're grateful for that. But if not, that's fine. Smash the thumbs up. That's quick, free, and easy. Jump over here in the comment section. Let's talk some Tennessee football, because this is the Talkin Vols Network. My name is Boogie Bentley. Go Big Orange.